All right, so this next guy, I've introduced him a few times. I have a great affection for him, but I like to tease him about this part of it. See here? So Rick has taught English and creative writing for over 40 years at Marmion Academy, as well as at a few local community colleges. He started a few long-standing area writers groups, wrote a column for the local paper, published books of poetry, essays, and fiction. And I've said this before, as a fellow high school teacher, I do not know how you did that and raised a couple of kids and all this, much of it before you retired. So it remains a mystery, but I'm sure you're going to give a great reading. Please welcome Rick to the mic. So.
Thanks a lot. Eric is your name? No, thanks to Kathy and everybody who contributes to this great venue. And I was talking to a couple of people in the audience, and they don't know any of the readers, and they just come because it's here, and that's fantastic. I just love that. So I'm going to be reading from my two most recent publications. The first is Manure, Dreams, and Other Essays. The mantra is, "It doesn't stink." The cover painting is done by my wife Tia, who's in the back, and it's a painting she did some time ago, and I love it. It's the best thing about the book, and I hope you can judge the book by its cover. So anyway, it's Poetry Month, April, and so I thought I'd read an essay in here about poetry. In 1980, Rosalind Carter, the president's wife, held a salute or a celebration of poets and poetry at the White House. And my brother Bill and I were invited, not because we were celebrated poets, because my parents knew somebody connected with the Poetry Foundation. It helps to have connections. And we went, and it was great. So I'd like to read. I just going to read a selection. It begins after the bigwigs read in the different rooms. The three poets read a few selections of their poems in the different rooms. I was able to hear Richard Eberhart read "Fury of Aerial Bombardment" and Gwendolyn Brooks read "We Real Cool," which was really really fantastic. But this is going to start with the reception in the East Room. So here we go. The reception. I'm already wrong. The reception in the state dining room, which included almond and wine, crackers, and cheese squiggles, must have been planned to make poets and poetry audiences feel at home. The smoked salmon, caviar, and champagne kept on ice for people who counted. John Morris, I know from his Milton class at Washington University, between puffs in class one day on his cigarette, asked me to talk about the diction in a particular stanza of Paradise Lost. Not having been an English major in college and having no idea what diction meant, I stammered until rescued by one of my peers. Robert Hayden, nearly blind, wears thick lenses in black frames. His wife leads him from group to group in the dining room. The poet says kindly to me, "I'm sure I'll read your works someday." I marvel that in the minute he's known me, he has picked up on my intelligence, genius, and passion. A few minutes later, I hear Hayden talking to a gathering next to ours, telling a fledgling poet, "I'm sure I'll read your work someday." I remind Theodore Weiss that I met him at a reception given for him at Washington University after a reading he gave. Trying to impress him with my fandom, I ask him how his next novel is going. He responds that he's never written a first one. We spot very famous poets. Oh, jeez. You know what? you know, no one ever calls me. But you know, and here we go. But I do have to take it. It's Bob. It's hello, hi, yeah, hi Bob. Okay, Mr. Frost. Oh, okay. No. I can't. I'm giving a reading. No. Sorry, you're envious about what I said about those other poets. Yeah. No, you're not too shabby either. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. You have a bit of a reputation for being a little spiteful. Yeah. I heard that once you were. John Ciardi was giving a reading, and you didn't like the attention he was getting, and you surreptitiously set your program aflame and emptied the theater. Yeah, a good one, Bob. Good fires make good exits. Yeah, no. Oh, and one other thing, Bob. Yeah, it happens that my uncle, his name was Richard Lamberton, Dick Lamberton. He was actually in your class at Amherst, a poetry class. Yeah, and he was writing some poetry, and I have the comments that you made on his poem. Read a little bit of his poetry? Okay, here it's called Love Sketches. Silence, the mingling of thoughts, like slow drifting clouds coming together, lips tremulous with unspoken words. You know, not too shabby. Okay, here's what you wrote about my uncle's poetry. Less original and interesting than late funeral sequence, partly because the theme is presented through fewer points of view, partly because the subject is so thoroughly well worn. I do not think any part of this is really contribution to the subject, nor do I feel that you especially care about it. It gives one the sense of being a formal exercise. That's a little harsh, Bob. You know, how do you think that made my uncle feel? Yeah, well, same to you. Same to you, Bob. Well, okay, so I gotta go. I only have 10 minutes. I'm probably already over. Okay, thanks. Okay, bye. Okay. Okay, back to the. Okay, so we spot very famous poets from a distance, too intimidating to approach. James Dickey, with a gorgeous woman beside him, and John Ashbery, looking younger than his mythological status, wearing gold-rimmed glasses. The crowd thins. We exit downstairs through the diplomatic room, an irony perhaps not lost on the nation's poets, who often pride themselves on their lack of diplomacy. Cloaked by night, 50 small fir trees glow with blue and white lights, one planted for each American hostage in Iran. Looking back, like Orpheus and Eurydice, I fear finding everything has vanished. So that's the little essay about the reception. So now I'd like to switch to my collection of stories called Unimaginable Things. And this photograph was taken at the Wayne train station about 10 minutes before the dust storm rolled in about a year ago. And because I'm going to the dentist at about 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, I thought, why not read a story about my alter ego, Henry, going to the dentist. The first half of the stories are kind of dark, Kafkaesque, speculative, ghastly stories. And then the second half is a novella called Henry Holcomb, Esquire. And it's a series of autobiographical sketches growing up in Chicago in the North Woods, all pretty self-flagellating. So this is called Henry Goes to the Dentist. I've got a bridge game at the Women's Athletic Club, honey. You'll have to take a bus to Dr. Searson's. Henry stayed silent between the bedsheet that stretched over his head from the back of the couch to the 3 pillows propped vertically in front, the fort's outer defense. I don't trust taxis, and they're hideously expensive. She would keep pestering him until he broke, so he said, okay. Later, leaving his room, he called to his brother Lance, going to Dr. Searson's. Don't get killed or kidnapped. Like Mom would care. Tell him to use Novocaine and don't forget tokens. Duh. When a 151 rolled to a stop and the doors hissed open, Henry followed the small crowd up the steps and dropped in his token. His one token, he realized now, a second one for the ride home forgotten, and sat next to a middle-aged man in a coat and tie reading a book. Henry looked down at the title, Naked Lunch. What's that about? Henry asked. Hello to you two. Hello to you too, young man. Aren't you the young Odysseus? Yeah, Henry said to be agreeable, whoever that is. It's about drug addicts. You know what they are? Sure, Henry lied. People who can't help themselves from taking substances that make them very sick. I know. Some even die. That's for sure, Henry said. You like it? I'm teaching it. Does that mean you like it? He grunted. Not always. Who are you teaching it to? To whom are you teaching it? That's what I said. You said who. Get your grammar straight or people will take you for a fool, even though your words try to convince them you're not every way till sundown. Okay, to whom? Graduate students. I should be looking at my annotations. Going to the dentist. Nice talking to you. Yeah. In a plush leather armchair, Henry reached for a Life magazine until Dr. Searson appeared in the doorway. Henry, come in. He had a slow way of talking, as if he was already lying to you about the pain he would inflict. How have your teeth been? Good. He was not about to give the dentist anything to look for, even though 1 or 2 teeth did, on occasion, feel iffy when biting down on a slow poke. Let's have a look. Over the next hour, Dr. Searson scraped and dug. After brushing Henry's teeth, Dr. Searson said, looks like you have a couple. How about drilling one today? You going to use Novocaine? What? You're about 11, 12? Sort of. Big for your age. Yeah. We deaden your gums. You'll have to wait for the effect to wear off. Okay. The drill's buzzing strained and whined as it met resistance. The lower the pitch, the higher the pain. The raw, searing, agonizing helplessness forcing tears from Henry's eyes until Chicago's rail yards turned to wavy lines. The blue lake hove onto shore and covered the waterfront, its distant horizon melting into the ivory heavens above, no longer any difference between land, water, and air. Somewhere out there, a man was talking about a naked lunch. A woman was playing bridge for money. Somewhere out there, people were doing things they loved. It was a little deeper than I thought. Okay. We'll put in a gold filling. A few minutes of discomfort is a small price to pay for a lifetime of painless chewing. I wanted to bite your hand. Look, he held up his scarred thumb. Cool. Tough boys sustain the pain. Did you ever read Naked Lunch? That a dirty book? Some guy in the bus was reading it. Sounds naughty. He said it was about drug addicts. You know about them? They're people who aren't like you, can't stand the pain, so they take drugs. They always ask for the Novocaine. Walking home, his gums aching, his drilled tooth throbbing, Henry studied each person he passed, wondering if they were drug addicts or people doing exactly what they wanted to do. He felt like he was still hiding under the sheet on the couch. He wanted to both remain invisible and open himself up. He felt like he would forever lie enclosed, his gold filling keeping him alive while absent of pain, but also absent of joy, never knowing the answer to the puzzle of a naked lunch, never knowing the breakage of skin on a thumb when teeth bite down. Thanks.